Welcome back to round 2 of Thursday night's Riftbound. Getting us going here in round 2 is Reese playing his Yasuo versus Dakota on his Viktor. Both these players are 1-0. It's having some issues with Twitch between the rounds there. Had to try and get that started or figured out, so sorry for the delay. It's still kind of screwed up, but there we go. But Reese off to a very interesting start of playing a Tide Turner to base. That doesn't feel good. Now Dakota's got to figure out what they want to do on turn 1. Poro. And a recruit. And back to Reese. Reese is still playing a movement-driven purple Yasuo deck that aims to score as many points from bouncing around as possible. If you were with us last round or in the last video, briefly mentioned playing Derek over at Wild Growth Games on Tuesday. Reese was there as well, piloting this same deck. Managed to win on his opponent's turn at one point with moving his Yasuo around to score 2 different points. So that was interesting. All right. And takes both those points and move himself to 2. Sort of thinking about it. Figure out line to go here with that Daring Poro. Daring Poro rushes up, easily takes that point. And to call the week, have each of them kill a unit, tosses that recruit in the trash, and Reese's only surviving unit there with it. Poor old Mystic Poro. It's been a Poro v Poro matchup here. Reese is going to get started. Tempo shift a little bit there between turns. Five and 1, here he comes. Purple Yasuo. Purple Yasuo says when he moves a third time in a turn, score a point. If you're still getting used to the Riftbound scoring rules and winning rules, those extra points that are scored by things like him and Ari and Trindamere can win you the game. Only Conquering has kind of a stipulation about how you can win with it. 4-1. Dakota. And a quick swing back 3-2. Pretty sure it's a faithful manufacturer that moved into the point there. It's a little hard to see the art on some of the yellow cards particularly, but pretty sure that's faithful manufacturer. And then hiding a card over with the Poro. Viktor deck doesn't play a ton of hidden cards. I'm betting that's probably a Hidden Blade, but could be Consult the Past. Some very cheap card draw. 1 energy for draw 2 is pretty strong. And now we're back to Reese. See a Ride the Wind, see an On Guard. I think a Last Breath maybe in there as well. Zonias. Might be 2 Zonias in his hand. Yeah, I can only really see the Last Breath and the On Guard. And the Yasuo movement begins. Now we find out if that's a Hidden Blade. I kind of feel like it's a Consult the Past, but no, I guess my gut instinct was right. It is a Hidden Blade, so Yasuo is going to bounce right back to base thanks to that Zonias. Unless Reese has a Defy in hand, but I don't think he does. See a Windwall. Is he going to Windwall that? Okay. I think Dakota's probably fine with that. Goes to 3 on the Conquer. I am confused what just happened. How did that Yasuo ready again? One moment. All right, that makes sense. He erroneously tapped the Yasuo when he moved him up instead of using the legend ability to do so. So just a little bit of out of sequence gameplay there, which is fine at the casual level for Nexus Nights. That would not be take backable at a competitive level event, but these two players know each other really well. And it's Nexus Nights, which is officially a casual level event. So that is totally fine. But now, my goodness, here comes the Swarm. Got a manufacturing base, a Sprite, multiple recruits, a Viktor, a Sprite Mother. Manufacturer moves up and in to the base, 5-4. Quite a swingy game here. Recruit to base. Dakota's got to be feeling like they're in a pretty good spot. I mean, this is what Viktor wants to do, is just continue to drive value and just exhaust your opponent. And that is a lot of units, especially if there is, I see a seal in hand. If there's, boy, a grand stratagem would be just really good right now. Doesn't necessarily need one. Already sitting in a good spot, but sitting on a grand stratagem in hand would pretty much lock the win in here. Reese just really struggling to kind of get anything going here. But Dakota is down to 1 rune, so unit dies, Viktor trigger, gets another unit, or gets another recruit, I'm sorry. I guess the showdown is still, well, the damage got done, so now I don't know what we're thinking about. Because he went to gank. I think Dakota might have stopped him. But there is no priority window once the showdown closes. So Reese would have priority here. So maybe Reese is doing the thinking. Yeah, okay. Reese is doing the thinking. All right. Yasuo swings over and on guards. That's a 6 might Yasuo at the moment. So many recruits on Dakota's side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ooh, Tide Turner to Switcherooski. And third time moved in a turn. Bing bong. And unless Dakota can somehow catch that Viktor out, Reese is probably going to win next turn no matter how much Dakota reinforces those points, because 2 movement abilities in, or I'm sorry, 1 movement ability in Reese's hand is going to allow Yasuo to move 3 times and win the game just with this ability, whether he wins a combat or not. So we may get to see Yasuo do his whoops I win. But Viktor going to move in against that Tide Turner. I mean, if I'm Reese, I don't think I care. Dakota can't win. Well, how many runes though? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Dakota cannot Time Warp. Don't know that Dakota's even playing Time Warp. I was going to say, Time Warp would be about the only out here. But I don't believe Viktor typically plays Time Warp. I could be wrong. I have not personally played a lot of Viktor. And we haven't had a lot of Viktor on screen, and I don't keep up a ton with the meta of decks that I don't play and don't cast on stream a lot. So maybe I'm wildly wrong. I'm sure Viktor players in the comments on YouTube will point out how dumb I am if Viktor plays like 2 of Time Warp full stop, but it doesn't play it as far as I know. Though Dakota did trade me for Time Warps at one point, so maybe. I'm still just laughing at that army of recruits over there. 6 recruits. Yeah, I can count them up. Fingers and toes. I mean, nothing's stopping Dakota from taking that other point. Reese doesn't care. I mean, he's basically tapped out. But yeah, for those curious for Reese's line, thanks to that Zonya's Hourglass, he can move his Yasuo into a point, even if it's just going to get him killed. He doesn't care, which is going to Zonya's him back to base, which is not a move, but still, he moved into the first battlefield. That's 1 move. He gets Zonya'd back. He uses his legend ability to move him back into a battlefield, and then he can ride the wind out of that battlefield, move for the 3rd time, score his point to win the game. That's assuming he has a ride the wind in hand. I kind of assume he does because I mean, he's at least bluffing like he does. He's playing like that is the line he's going to do. I think Dakota knows what's happening here and is kind of suffering as they try and figure out what to do. Yeah, I mean, I think that's what you do. You just move in a unit and just take it and say, well, I mean, if you got it, you got it. I think Dakota does have a singularity in hand, though. But the problem is singularity it's not an action nor a reaction. It's a no speed, which means Dakota has to play it on their turn. So, you know, and given that what am I trying to say? Given that singularity is 6 damage to a unit at a battlefield, or no, I'm sorry, deal 6 damage to 2 units. You could hit the Tide Turner and the Yasuo, sure, but Reese will just have the Hourglass save the Yasuo, which does make the movement win line a little bit harder, but not if Reese has even a single other piece of interaction in his hand other than the Ride the Wind. And I think that's what Dakota's thinking about is, do I singularity now? And I personally think the answer is probably yes, but I don't know what else. Okay, yeah, Thousand Tail Watcher. Reese does not care about that at all. If he has a Ride the Wind in hand, he wins here. Because he just throws the Yasuo in to die, throws the Yasuo back in again with the Legend ability, Ride the Winds over for the 8th point. And there's the Ride Wind. Here we go. Yep, move in, I die. Oh, is he gonna ride? Okay, he's gonna ride the wind first. Sure. I mean, that probably makes more sense as save the Zonias just in case. I mean, Dakota's tapped out, so yeah, Dakota sees what's happening. Yep. And there's the scoop. So exactly what I said the line was a couple turns ago. He moved in. He did it in the reverse order I said, but it's the exact same play line. He moved in. That's one move. Rides the wind for a second move. Dies. Bounces back. And then moves in again with the Yasuo Legend ability. Yeah, I appreciate that. B Schlot? I probably know who you are. I just don't know your username. And yeah, our player cams get frozen all the time. It's very irritating. I don't have a way to reset them. They just kind of catch back up when they catch back up. But it's unsurprising. We have been having. Oh, okay. Hi, Dakota's wife. Yeah, we've been having technical issues like all day. It's been a total S show in here today. We've had OBS crashes. We had a blue screen. The tournament software for Riftbound is not working. Yeah, everything that could go wrong today has been going wrong. But we are moving to sideboarding. These players are going to sideboard up before we move into game 2. I need to get Reese's win marker up. There we go. Reese is up 1-0. Be interested to see what each player pulls in for from their sideboards here. I wish I knew more about the Viktor kind of meta, because I don't know what Viktor really plays in the sideboard to deal with all the movement nonsense. I mean, I think you probably just need more kill spells. So if there's maybe more Cola Weeks or, in any kind of additional removal, I think is probably what needs to be played here. The thing is, though, about the Yasuo deck that Reese runs is his primary win con is the purple movement Yasuo, but he does still play the green Yasuo. And so he can still play as a only slightly less efficient traditional Yasuo deck where it's just make Yasuo big, push him into battlefield, trigger, murder everything. But that is much less good against Viktor. So his primary way of winning is really the purple Yasuo, because making your green Yasuo really big and targeting a unit and killing it is great, but Dakota has like 15 units on the field and is like, okay. So we'll see. If we have time after the round, I may pull the winner in and have them chat with us about what they sideboarded. But Riftbound's a pretty long form game, much like Magic. Most rounds go 2 or close to time. So that's why we don't often get to do player interviews in here, but we'll see. Looks like Reese is all sideboarded up, though. Reese does play a green Yasuo in the main. He may have sideboarded it out. I probably would have, but we'll see. It is good to have it just as a backup plan, but it feels really bad into Viktor. Windwall, Charm, Last Breath, Fight or Flight, 0 units. Oh boy. Yeah, let's go fishing. All right, and on Dakota's side, I see a Call of the Week. Viktor does choose to go first, of course. I still don't think there's any. Oh wait, there might be 1 unit in Reese's hand now. Viktor with a quick recruit token down. Oh, I'm sorry. Dakota actually chose to go second. I'd even notice Reese's runes hiding over there. But Dakota's second turn here. 5 runes. Moving the recruit in. For quick first point. And a Soaring Scout. And a Manufactor, maybe? Imperial. I think that's Imperial Recruiter. Is that what it's called? So bad with all the yellow cards that are all named roughly the same thing. Don't think that's it. I'm forgetting the name of that card, but Call of the Week. Reese says no. Let's not do that. Counterspells it with Defy. But Reese is now tapped out, so if Dakota has something else to remove that Yasuo, now is the time. But instead, it looks like we're just thinking about moving that Soaring Scout into a point. Jumping into an early lead, which is where Viktor wants to be. Reese's cam is still frozen. Really? I wonder if I can just turn that off. Oh, wait. Can I? Oh, look at that. I can. Ah. Reese is now the Phantom Man. All right. Looking forward to Alex yelling at me about that later when he asks me why that's turned off. Wonder if Dakota's going to be mad now. They only have Dakota on screen and not Reese. But we've got a hidden card now. down on that reinforced point, and Reese is trying to figure out how to bounce back from a serious tempo deficit here. So Yasuo is largely unprotected. There's an on guard and maybe another Defy in hand. So, yeah, he's got a little help in hand. Oh, why are we flipping that? Oh, yeah, you can do that. I think Reese was getting ready to call out the hidden card thing, but Consult the Past is one of the rare hidden cards where having it on a battlefield that you're not fighting on is no problem. So remember, you can still flip hidden cards anytime, anywhere. It's just if they target, they can only target things at their battlefield. Consult the Past obviously does not target anything. It's just draw 2 cards. Reese was thinking about counterspelling that Consult the Past, but he did not. And I agree with that. Counterspell the stuff they draw, not the draw itself. Obviously, there are exceptions to that, but in his position right now, that is what I would do. I would be saving my counterspells and things for the answers to the Yasuo. Because if I'm Dakota, what I'm doing there is I am flipping that Consult the Past, and I'm hoping he counters it so that I can then kill the Yasuo, the unprotected Yasuo. But Yasuo's going to ride the wind over for a quick scored point. He's going to gank back over. On guard. So Yasuo moved 3 times there. That's why he got that second point. And now he's actually going to fight it out. Kills the Shin and the Soaring Scout. Soaring Scout Death Trigger channels the rune. Windwall, another Yasuo in hand, plus a Defy, Windwall, Last Breath Yasuo. Oof, that is a brutally good hand for Reese. Like that hand is straight gas. Reese has several more free points effectively just sitting in his hand, and a backup Yasuo. And Reese pulls it back to base. That's how much extra movement Reese had this turn, was that he scored an extra point off moving and was still able to pull it back to base with Yasuo, with the legend ability. Let's see what Dakota can get going here. Dakota's still winning the resource war. Up on runes, up on board presence. Legends available. Champion is still in the champion zone and available. So I think Dakota's, I think Dakota's doing exactly what they need to do, which is just get as far ahead on the points as possible and make the Yasuo catch up. Dakota, of course, a great player. Plays Magic here pretty much every single week. Great Modern player. Regularly wins our Friday Night Modern events. Regularly goes undefeated. Has trounced me in Magic the Gathering many times. I think I've beat Dakota once ever in the many times I've played them. Of course, I'm bad. That's why I'm in the booth. Those that can't do stream. We're doing some quick math, seeing how best to reinforce these points here. Manufactor, reinforce that with the recruit as well. Start stacking up some might. Oh boy, another one. And a hidden card. All right, it looks like we are on game plan. Hold that 1 point and hope Reese can't pass us with extra points. Score your point, Reese. Oh, wait, you aren't holding a point. Ignore me, Reese. Reese is a little rune starved. That's the only scary thing about where Reese is sitting right now. It's obviously behind in points, but you got to consider that Reese basically has, thanks to his hand, he has 2 free points. He can basically take it anytime. So really, it's more like 5-5, but Dakota's still ahead just based on board presence and card advantage. I think Dakota has a bunch of cards in hand. They may be equal on card advantage, but I think Dakota is in a better spot here, but maybe not by as much as the board state would make it appear. Boy, I don't know if the stream can hear our board gamers out there right outside the booth, but they are loud today. But they're having fun, which is really what's important. I'm not complaining. Reese moves up, clears out that single poor recruit, lamb to the slaughter. Yeah, when does the tournament? Sorry, I'm behind on chat. I had a pop up covering it. Thanks, OBS. When does the Riftbound software ever work? Yeah, never. Reese does play Kog'Maw. He plays, I believe, 2 in the sideboard. That is a small deck tech that I can. I mean, it's not exactly a unique idea, a new idea, but Reese and I have been playing even before the global release. We were playing when it was out in China. We were playing with proxy decks and stuff, and I kind of turned him on to him and everybody onto Kog'Maw v Viktor. I mean, Kog'Maw is just so good. It's such a cool card. All right, last breath. Viktor, targeting. Vanguard Captain. Ready the Yasuo. Are we going to start schmoving, or are we just going to move the Yasuo back? I don't think he has enough movement gas. Well, no, I guess, well, no, he does. Yeah, he has enough movement gas to do the thing if he wants to let the Yasuo die. Oh, yeah. Duh. You can just move it back to the same point, obviously. I was like, he can move back and then he, move to the other battlefield. Reese waggling his finger. I don't know what that's about. Dakota laughing at him. Both Reese and Dakota sporting some beautiful legends. Both of them sporting some overnumbered legends. Some beautiful runes. Except Reese has got that ugly green rune on top. I don't know what he's doing. He's got like maybe he's just missing 1. I thought his full rune deck was foiled, but Dakota playing the salvage, which says you may, I believe it's you may kill a gear, draw 1. Just playing it for the kill 1. Or I'm sorry, kill 1. Just playing it for the draw 1. Playing another manufacturer. My goodness. Swarm, swarm. Back to Reese. Okay, well, now you are holding the point, Reese. So, yeah, Dakota calling him out. Good job, Dakota. Reese thinking about it here. So he knows if he can take the other point this turn, he can win based on his movement. Or he can move first and then do it that way. Did anybody make it to Houston for regionals? Didn't Dakota go? I thought Dakota was down there. Am I crazy? Okay, that's what I thought. Because other people have been asking me that too, and I was like, yeah, Dakota is the only one I know of. Me, Derek, who was on last round and is on almost every week. Reese, who is on now, is on almost every week. All of us tried to go. We were all in the lottery, but none of us got tickets. None of us got invites. So nope, and none of the other guys, gals, and non-binary pals here got an invite as far as I know. So yeah, I think Dakota was the only one repping. Oh, I wasn't going to go if I couldn't play, and I think Derek and Reese were the same. I don't have that kind of money. I work at a game store. Are you kidding me? All right, we got a hidden card down. Looks like Reese is maybe setting up for a hold and then a movement win, hopefully, if Dakota doesn't just win right here. I keep waiting for that time warp, but again, I don't think Dakota's playing it. I don't know that they have the runes anyway. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Nope. Big felt. People, what shop you work at? You a collector store guy? Wild Growth? Forge? Players Corner? Just gonna keep naming shops. Dojo? Tide Turner. Yasuo doing some flips. Yasuo doing some flips. Yasuo doing some flips. Bonk. Yeah. All right. That game. Oh man, that was a close one. Yeah, kind of like I thought. If Dakota couldn't win there on that last turn, take that point away, Yasuo had more than enough movement. So get a GG from the players there. Wrap it up as Reese takes round 2. And man, that Dakota's a great player. And it just kind of shows how funky that Yasuo deck is when you watch that match and look at the board state. And just at a glance, you think there is no way Yasuo is ahead. And it's like, no, yeah, Yasuo is pretty well in control most of the time. There were a couple critical interactions there where Reese had the counter spells at exactly the right time. I think he countered 2 different removals from Dakota that would have. Probably switch it back to the thing here. There we go. A couple of key counterspells from Reese to save his Yasuo from some of Dakota's early removal. Now, Reese did end up drawing the second Yasuo later on, so it didn't matter as much, but I don't think he drew it until like turn 6, 5 maybe. So there was definitely at least 1 point scored, maybe 2 from Reese that were solely because he was able to save the Yasuo with like 2 defies. But but I mean, it's a green deck saying you won because you had a counterspell. I mean, that's kind of a non-statement. I mean, like say, yeah, you win the game because you play cards that are in your deck. But just saying, it was very close, especially that second game. But yeah, not being able to stop that purple Yasuo from just doing whatever he wants and scoring 2 points every turn is pretty brutal. But great game from those players. Always happy to see them on stream. Again, this has been Art from Impact Gaming Center over in Fairview Heights, Illinois, 20 minutes from downtown St. Louis. We are in here playing Riftbound every Thursday night. If Riftbound is not your thing, we play and stream Pokemon on Tuesdays. We play and stream Magic on Wednesdays. And we often stream on Saturdays as well if we're having big events, like a big Pokemon event or a Magic RCQ. I believe we are streaming Pokemon this Saturday. We have a Pokemon 1K this Saturday, so in 2 days. So tune in for that. But otherwise, again, Impact Gaming Center, thank you for joining us. And whether I see you in the next round or the next video, take it easy, stay safe, make an impact. Peace.